I borrow this book, right? So this one, just China, the current leader is not that Mao a while ago, right? So that Mao did the job for liberate whole Chinese people from that three mountain, right? With the semi-colonialism, semi-feudalism, and semi-capitalism. But this guy continued that job. He inherited Mao Zedong thought fully. So I've read his book, right? If from the surface, right, you check the media, the news, right, everything report about him, very shallow. Because other people, other media, they report very shallow. They never dig in this book from beginning to the end to see what the Xi Jinping say. Because in the news coverage, very shortly, very briefly, very simple, right? Just a few keywords, right? They never, to review that whole story in that news. The news sometimes just 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right? The most. But this one, if you read from beginning to the end, right, you read his soul, where his idea, right, his thoughts, right, come from. From this one reading, and I have read Mao's book. I read, right, so exactly the same. That is two person, right? Just surname is different, right? Living in a different era. He's a youngster, right? If you compare Mao born in the 1897 something, the 19th century, right? The late 19th century. But Xi Jinping, almost the same age with me, a little bit older than me, right? Just the same generation, right? But he inherited fully just Mao Zedong thought from his whole lifetime, right? Study and educated, and then do the practice in the real life. In the real life, he's not like a great man, right? Like a great man. In the very beginning, he's just smart and a genius, right? Always better than other people. No, he lived a very simple life, an ordinary life. He's been a peasant, like the other peasant. He's been a worker, like everyone else in the factory, right? A worker, rough one. He been in a very basic, the low class in the countryside, remote area, poor, outback area. He actually practiced many years. See, he had old experience, right? He practiced himself, refining himself, not just come from the university, from education. He become some smart person, like an intellectual. No, he just from every walks of life, like everyone, no different. Yeah. So he wrote these things, right? Not like a fiction. You can now reading in the library. You buy any book in the library, you see fictional. That's a very, very typical the Western, the literature, fiction. In the library, you see a whole lot of shit, fiction. What that means?
Make believe, it's not real.
Western culture, just a fiction.